Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys something. I'm gonna try not to hold you guys up too long, but I got something very interesting here to show you guys. Okay, go to mail. So essentially, what you got here is this is the PlayStation VR 2, and they have a game called Human Anatomy. And in this game, you can quite literally look at all of the different systems and pick them apart, like even like the little things, like the T9 vertebra. You can see everything about that, which, I mean, all the thoracics are going to, vertebra are going to say probably the same thing, but, you can section it out and pick what you want, even the cox or the sacrum down there, coccyx below that, and it'll just tell you everything about it. Depending on what you pick, you can kind of have a description here that might be a long description, or it just kind of depends on how much information is on it. But you can see what the parts are, the shape. I mean, it's very, very detailed. I'm not going to read all of that, but you guys can see what I mean. You can just take Mr. Skeleton apart, pick and choose whatever piece you want. Take a look at it up close. I haven't figured out how to make it rotate on its own, but you can see the shape of it. Read about it. Then if you want to just put all that back away, let's put it back away. There's a bunch of functions in this that I haven't figured out yet. But you guys get the idea on that. And then you could go into my favorite, the muscular system. Rotate it around, you can kind of get an idea of like the muscle fiber orientation. The origin, the insertion, as meaning the origin where the muscle kind of like is fastened in place, and then the insertion, like right here in the gluteus maximus, this would actually be the insertion, so the muscles pull this way. But you can kind of see. Actually, I'm not sure if it states where the origins and insertions are. I'm not totally sure. But there again, see, I just took the gluteus maximus off. And now you can see all the little muscles, which I have an issue with. I'm not totally certain, but I'm thinking I have maybe an issue with my piriformis. I have like a nerve, like a narrowing, and I think I have some pain with the piriformis as well. I'm trying to get that figured out with an MRI here pretty soon, but it's just really cool. You can kind of really look at those deep intrinsic stabilizer muscles. Sometimes we're not using our glute, big powerful glute, when we're doing, let's say, squats, and you can all of a sudden feel like an injury deep within your glute. And sometimes that's just because you're overusing these little tiny muscles and you're not firing up your glutes. So it's kind of good to know about all these little tiny muscles. And there's a bunch of them, all attaching to your hip. And then, of course, the gluteus medius, and underneath that should be, the gluteus minimus. And that's your lateral hip. A lot of us, including me, I'm working on it with my speed and agility work, but a lot of us are weak on our lateral hips. And obviously you're going to compensate whenever you are weak in your lateral hips, and you start using muscles that you shouldn't, and eventually end up having pain. So that's the muscular system. Now that you guys have an idea of that, I'll put all this back on Mr. Skeletal System. Really quick, we'll take the muscular system out of this. And if you wanted to, you could look at veins and arteries. Red is the arteries, and you got the veins here. You can see that they're very large in the center, so obviously it'd be fatal if you got shot like right in the center of your body. Probably bleed out, and even up above, because obviously you got your heart here, but like these arteries are very big, so there's a lot of pressure here. So if you have like a nosebleed, sometimes you'll bleed like profusely because it's just very hard for that to clot up because there's just so much pressure going on right here. And also your arteries in your legs as well, they're very big. So you can see those illustrated right here. So we could, include the lymph nodes if we wanted. So like your immune system, everything involved with that. Take all that off. I won't get into this too much, but you can also see, your respiratory system and your digestive system. Take away the skeleton, and now you can really see everything, all the different parts. See it from behind if you want. And then if you want to, you guys get the idea of that, so I'll go to microanatomy. And here you can kind of just see like small little illustrations of like the alveoli here. This is part of the cellular aspect of the respiratory system, or the lungs, where it branches off all the way until it gets to the cellular level. And you can see here, like you have your venules, or arterioles, I mean, and it's going into the alveolar sac. And here's where the exchange happens. Here's where oxygen-rich blood goes in, and here's where the veins replenish and start going back towards the heart again. So I'm not going to spend too much time there. Now, I don't know how to rotate this, so it's kind of bugging me. But here's like it won't let me do that. I wonder if I can get that. No. Let me have that. Let me have it. That's a tough one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that. Wow. Huh. I wonder if I could. That is really hard to grab. I can't do it. So let's do this. Here you can see the endomysium, and this is where all the muscle cells are bundled in. And they don't really show you the actin and the myosin for the contractions, but you can see all the muscle cells in there. Come on. Here. Move this here. There we go. So you look at this and you can see the Z lines here. They won't let me actually do that. Or the Z band. And anyway, there's actin and myosin within each muscle cell, and they're all little sections here, and it all contracts together. And there's little fingers on the myosin. I know there has to be a way to find the myosin. It's probably... No. I'm not going to be able to show you guys that. I'm having issues right now with my VR. But anyway, yeah, so here's where the contractions occur, which is pretty neat. You can see the muscle cell up close and personal, even though it's microscopic and you can't actually see it with the human eye. That's what the muscle cells would look like within the endomysium. And the endomysium is very small as well, obviously. Moving on, let me move this. And this. I'm trying to figure out why my headset's acting... Oh, I see what I did. I gotta move over. There we go. So as I said, there's always a description of everything. Give me 1 second. Gotta do one more thing. I'm burning my pizza. Okay. Back to it. You can go into animations. See like the human heart function, kind of click on everything. They make this one kind of hard to really look at. You can't take it apart either in the animations. But you can see like depression of the shoulder, how that occurs, which would be your trapezius that's causing some depression down here in the mid-traps. Elevation of the shoulders, which obviously is going to bring up your shoulder, your trapezius, and also elevate your scapula. What's this one? Extension of the shoulder. Obviously you're protracting your scapula there, and you're actually moving your clavicle as well. And then you can see, you're obviously getting a stretch at the pectoralis major, except for about right there. That's your upper pectoralis, and that is going to be involved in shoulder extension. You get a nice stretch of your lats whenever you're going up, but then whenever you pull back, you're contracting. So when you extend and retract, you're actually, and if you rotate your arm as well, your upper arm, you get a nice contraction at the latissimus dorsi there. So that's an idea there. Now I want to go into the really cool thing. I want to just jump right into it. Okay, let me, ant mode. Let me do this first. It's like Attack on Titan whenever you do this. Isn't this fucking great? So here's a good illustration of the back muscle. You can see how the striations go. So you can see the clear difference. Let me see if I can go up here in striation. Look, right here is your upper traps, and they clearly kind of go up, but then they're kind of like diagonal. But then as you go down, they kind of are more horizontal. So in that way, if you were to try to target this region right here in specific, you'd want to do like a bent over row as opposed to like standing up and doing a row. You would want to get like a nice 90 degree bent over like pendlay row or something like that, and that would be a good way to hit these upper traps. Or you could bend over and you can do lat raises as well, lateral raises that way. That'll kind of hit this region, but especially like right here, this area, you'd want to do something like a pendlay row. So right here you can just kind of see how the muscle fibers orient. Wish this would move. Yeah, like I said, it's like Attack on Titan. You can see all the muscles that are involved in the movement of your neck for extension and flexion and rotation. All right there. Let me see. Can I? There we. Oop, shit. What's this? And it's just very cool. I mean, you can see whatever you want up close in ant mode. Trying to see if there's anything worthwhile to look at. It's not exactly what I wanted. Could just do the muscular system. So like, here's another interesting aspect. So it's like the little things where like sometimes you don't know what the heck you're looking at in a book, and this gives you like the full description, and you can kind of just see everything real up close. It's like sometimes you don't know what you're looking at, but then you look at this ant mode model and you can see everything. So all those areas that you don't really know about, like this is like the olfactory, all up in here. It's just a big area, and people don't realize that. Um, Up here you can see all the muscles in your eyes. They're really tiny muscles, but this is what makes your eyeballs move around. And I was actually thinking here, I wonder if you could see in the ear. I'm not sure if this will work. It might not. Um, Trying to see if you could see the tiny little bones. In the ear. I'm sure there's a way, and I'm just not really good at this yet. Yeah, I bet I could. Um, Still not really. It's a little bit annoying. You can see all the sections of the skull as well. The brain would be pretty cool. This works pretty well compared to like the old VR. I would have thought there would have been a brain here too. Really? There's got to be a brain. There we go. Get rid of that. It's got your brain. I mean, you can't really take it apart when it's the ant mode model. You know, you can even see your pituitary gland here. Yeah, I'm going to be looking into all this. And as you can see, some might not even think about this, but here's your spinal cord as well, within your vertebra. Now you can see where all of your nerves come off of that, all the way down. I want to see what that is because I'm not even sure. Just real quick. What is that? Phone terminal. Huh. Never even, I don't even know what that is. I'll have to look into it. Woo! Going up. Do a little climby poo here. Oop. Little climby poo. Just says you're a mater. So, unfortunately, I'm seeing that being that I can't take this apart, it's not telling me the parts of the brain. I don't think there's a way to fix that either that I know of. Oh, shit. There is. Oh, that's what I wanted. Yes. Okay. Get rid of it here. Put that away. Out of my way. It's so hard to control this. Alright. Hold on. So you can... I'm having troubles with my VR a little bit. Yeah, so you can see all of the parts of the brain too. Cranial... Still not what I want. Kind of is. There we go. Maybe that's it. Yeah, that's it. Wish I could get my area. Oh boy, what is going on? Technical difficulties. Looks like my play area defaulted, and that's why I'm having issues. So I'll have to go back over there, and this will be the last thing I show you guys. I don't know if you guys, some of you might like this. It's gonna take forever. Yep, but now you can see all the parts of the brain. Got the cerebellum, which, obviously the people with cerebral palsy have issues with this region. Occipital lobe, you don't want to damage this. This has to do with your sight. Trying to remember where the motor function was. I do believe it was in the temporal lobe. It's been a while since I looked at the brain. Obviously the frontal lobe, which has to do with a lot of like the way we think and the social aspects. And each brain is going to have like a different function. Then you have the connection. Pons for like breathing and heart rate and things like that. But on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I definitely had fun messing with it. I definitely need to brush up on my anatomy a little bit because I used to know about all of this stuff, and it's just been a little bit. So this is a very useful app. I think it's really cool, especially for anybody that is in any field that has to do with the human body. This is so much better than a book. You can get a lot out of it, and I'm going to be looking into it, and hopefully I can brush up on my old knowledge. Very cool stuff. So, yep, as I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a good day. Terminator out.